general, I mean, I'm a very, very lucky man. As you said, I've got a wonderful partner. My career is still a great joy to me, despite the media. I'm healthy and happy and living my life, and for some strange reason, I'm here again, you know, in response to some pretty extreme behaviour by the press media.
Hello everyone. Well, it's been a hell of a long time since I did one of these videos. I released one a couple of weeks ago, but as of recording, I have not recorded one since New Year's Day. It is now Easter Monday, and life hasn't been fun, but we won't get into that. I have a bag on my shoulder. I'm going to Heathrow, but I thought I would do a video. I was going to do it at Christmas time in London. Show you George Michael's headstone and where he lived in Highgate in London. Now, Highgate is a very affluent area of London. The rich, the great and the rich, the powerful live down here. Well, celebrities. So Sting's lived here, Annie Lennox. And George Michael lived here. And he wasn't here when he died. Let me turn you around. But this is where George Michael lived when he was in London. This was his home. It sold for £19 million after he died, we do believe. And like I said, lots of the great and the good have lived here, and a lot of the houses down here, this is the Flask Inn straight ahead of us, and Byron, Shelley, Keats, but not Yeats. And I'm going to the cemetery gates. There's Drank there, Dick Turpin hid from the police there, and it was also George Michael's local, his favourite pub. So this area here in front of his home, which doing some of my research, I've read that he owned, and I don't know if that's true or not. It became a shrine to George Michael, and lots of people would leave their memories of their icon here, and it became a bit of a nuisance because this is an affluent area, and it became a little bit gross and untidy, and they had to try and get rid of it, and the fans wanted a statue to be erected. That's his home straight ahead here, but his family didn't think that he would like that, and so they weren't in a pass. They couldn't really do anything, but it ended up getting cleared. It got cleared. It was up for about 18 months. And also here, if you can remember, it's quite a busy area, so I'm having to move around. If you remember, after he had his illness, his pneumonia, in 2011, he did a press conference outside of a Christmas tree. That was here in this little square.
Okay. Right, I've got a couple of minutes. I'm not supposed to speak for very long at a time, but Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas.
Far away.
So how are you feeling?
I feel amazing. I mean, I'm very weak. But...
And something about George Michael is he was one of the more generous celebrities, but he didn't really want people to know about his generosity. And an example of that is that Christmas tree. I'm sure I'll put some of the press conference up for you. Was paid for by George Michael. He paid for the Christmas lights, the decorations for Highgate, because he loved this area so much. He would pay for the decorations and the lights. And so Kate Moss used to be his neighbour. I'm not sure which way the neighbour was, left or right, but she would put a ladder up and go over his back garden to use his swimming pool to avoid walking out of here and the press and everything. Don't want to stay here too long as it's quite busy and there's some weird looks. Nobody's friendly in London, are they? But this area, this street, that's housed so many celebrities. George Michael's home, like I said, sold for £19 million, that house there. And a lot of the houses down here, Highgate's like, Highgate was kind of devised, built, whatever, in the Tudor era. And even then it was meant to be a place for the rich, always been quite an affluent area. And people have owned the houses here for decades. Most of the houses, because they're worth so much probably, I don't know. And rich people don't tend to sell their houses, they just keep them. But they're all kind of outdated. But George Michael, who loved this area and his house, he spent quite a lot of money on the interior, so that's why they say it sold for so much. And George Michael lived there. I'm going to go to Highgate and see his grave now, and I'll talk a bit more about him. I'm rushing this bit because it's quite busy and I don't like it. But if you lot remember the Range Rover or the car that was parked just outside here, it had all the memorial stuff on it. He had parked his car there, he left his car there, he died in Goring, his Oxfordshire residence, and his car was left out the front there. And people use that as a shrine as well. So I really hope you enjoyed that. I was a bit rushed and it was a bit busy, so I couldn't really speak the way I wanted to speak. His memorial there, again, it's in a nice area, and even if it wasn't in a nice area, would you want a memorial, a shrine outside your home? I don't know, but they fought to get it removed. The fans wanted it to stay. There was an idea to put a statue there for him, but his family said, George Michael's family said, he wouldn't have wanted it because he was such a private person. And it got taken down, the memorial. It was there for about 18 months. And it's still on Atlas Obscura, my favourite site for these videos, excuse me. And yeah, it is gone, but I am in Highgate Cemetery. I found his grave, it is up here. So the main thing I wanted to talk about was George Michael and his generosity. He is beloved, and these stars of our childhood are things that remind us of being kids, are very important to us all. And that's why George Michael's so big, but his generosity, which I don't think came out until after he passed, was immense. sister, who died 3 years the day after him. This is his mother, who died, who was born on the 24th of December, interestingly enough. And this is George Michael. His birth name is on his headstone, of course. So, I'll talk away from his headstone. Lots of people want to see it. If you want to see it, they don't tell you where it is. They give you maps. Hang on, stay with me. Give you maps, but his headstone's not on it. He was on an unmarked grave for quite a long time, and a headstone was erected just recently, and I wanted to see it at Christmas, but I didn't get a chance, and I'm going down to Heathrow, hence the bag, and I wanted to show you lot. And he's quite easy to find. I'm not going to give you any clues, but he's quite easy to find. As talking about his generosity, an example of that is Richard Osman. I don't know, some of these stories I've said in other videos, I don't know where they come from. And Richard Osman, who was on Pointless, I remember hearing a story. He said when George Michael was watching Deal or No Deal, Richard Osman used to be producer of that. There was a woman on there who needed money for an IVF treatment, and if you don't know Deal or No Deal, you draw out you get a box and you have money in your box, and you're trying to get 250 grand, but you can get 1p, and this lady got 1p, and George Michael called up the show and said I'll give her the money for her treatment. And there's another woman who was working in a cafe, she was in a cafe, and she was with a friend, and George Michael heard her talking about how she's lost all the money and stuff, and George Michael gave her like thousands of pounds. But it's such a shame because like he was so private and he didn't want people to know about his generosity. He didn't do it for the PR and stuff. He just did it because he had a decent soul, and like the press, the Beverly Hills toilet and the crash in his car when he was high became such big news. And that's what people tend to focus on about people, he was just ridiculed and taken fun of, and he reacted well to that, but he was such a gentle, generous soul, and that's the way he was treated. It's so sad. But yeah, what a wonderful human, what a beautiful spirit, what a beautiful soul. And I wanted to pay my respects because not so much his music, which I do love, that one with Aretha Franklin, I Knew You Were Waiting, one of my favourite songs ever, but just how nice a person you seem to be. I just think that's remarkable. And I hope you enjoyed a quick video. On my way down to Heathrow, and just wanted to show you his grave and his old home. So, just walking back, it's a bonkers cemetery. I'll do a video on Highgate Cemetery. My brother used to live near here, so I've been there a few times, but George Michael's in the west side of the cemetery, which has never been open. Since I've been knowing London, and it's now open, so you can come in here. They've not said where he is on the map, so I don't want to tell you where he is. He's easy to find though. There's a clue. There he is again. Well, that's it from me at Highgate Cemetery. I hope you've enjoyed a brief walk around George Michael's home and final resting place. Like I said, he's a really beautiful soul, and he's a miss to the world, just his generosity. It's worth noting his generosity is still in effect even after his death. His art collection sold for more than 11 million quid, and that went to the charities he loved. Like I said, the Highgate Christmas lights and decorations are still funded by George Michael's estate. Yeah, he's a really beautiful man, and he's a miss, and he has really passionate fans, like everybody has passionate fans, I guess, when you're a rock star and you meant so much to so many people. I just wish, like, just his generosity, just how nice he was more, just the generosity. I'm just blown away by how generous he seemed to be, and he's a sad loss, and he made a massive impact on this world, and he is sorely missed. I hope you've enjoyed. Join me again on the next adventure. I'll be going to other cemeteries and foreign countries soon, so hope you enjoy it. I hope you're well. Take it easy. Enjoy the weather. Peace.